Does meditation work? Well, I've meditated every day for the past month, and in this video I want to share my experience, some of the benefits I've noticed, and hopefully convince you to start meditating as well. Meditation is essentially a period of time where you're intensely focused on the present moment and you're trying to detach yourself from thoughts and emotions. It's basically a way of sharpening your mind and becoming more present. Think of it like going to the gym, but for your brain, right? It's like working out for the mind. So for some reason, people think it's weird or something only monks do, but in reality, it's a really effective way of improving your mental health. And it's taken me from an anxious, insecure, overthinking kid to a significantly less anxious, overthinking, and insecure kid. But jokes aside, it has genuinely changed my life. If you take this seriously, you will be way better in social situations, be way more focused on work or study tasks, feel happier and more positive throughout the day, and be smooth as fuck with girls. I mean, not that I'm smooth as fuck with girls, but look, the point is, after consistently practicing meditation for 30 days, here are the main benefits I've noticed. Number one is improved mood. So meditation in general just improves your mental health. That alone just makes you feel better, more motivated, less sad, more positive. I think the main way it does that is by giving you the ability to regulate your thoughts. I'll give you an example. So most people's unhappiness comes from either overthinking or not being present. Meditation trains you to notice a thought, observe it, but detach from it and let it move on. So if you've never meditated, you'll get a negative thought and you'll attach to it and you'll let it become part of your identity and you'll let it grow and more negative thoughts to generate, and then you've just got a head full of bad negative thoughts that aren't serving you and are making you feel bad about yourself or life or whatever. And obviously that's terrible for your mood. But with meditation, you become mindful. That's the whole point. Mindfulness is like the umbrella term. Meditation is like one practice and way of achieving mindfulness or increasing it. It means two big things. You can notice and catch the negative thoughts before they grow, and you can just let them pass. And two, you can implant positive thoughts into your head and let them grow. So the second main benefit I've noticed is decision making, which might sound a bit weird. How does meditation help with decision making? Blah, blah, blah. Well, it's quite simple, right? Most bad decisions we make are impulsive. I'm not talking about big picture life decisions. I mean day-to-day choices. So for me, a big thing I've struggled with is getting my diet in check. So since I got into fitness, there's been two goals in terms of diet that I've had. One, eat more food, eat more protein. And two, cut back on the junk food and remove or limit sugar in my diet. Eating more, I've just recently been able to get that one under control, and I'm finally putting on size, which is great. But the second thing, removing sugar and junk food, has been a massive challenge for me. One, I'm a major sweet tooth, so I love sweet shit and junk food and all that, which is not unique, by the way. But I've always found myself kind of unable to control that impulse and, well, really that addiction. And meditation has really, really helped me with that. And after these 30 days, my diet is probably the best it's ever been. And I'll tell you why I think that is. Given that most of those kind of decisions and cravings are impulsive, right? Nobody sits there. I'd say it's pretty rare for people to sit there and decide, I'm going to eat junk food now. Open the fridge, get the chocolate, bang. I'd say it's a lot more common for people to open the fridge and see the chocolate there and kind of just mindlessly grab it and take a piece, bang, eat it. If you can become more mindful of all of your thoughts and emotions and impulses and cravings through meditation, when you're looking in the fridge and you see the chocolate, instead of just mindlessly grabbing it, you can identify, okay, that's a thought, which is a craving for chocolate. And then you actually have a chance to make a decision. And as well as that, if you do impulsively grab that chocolate and mindlessly just eat it, you get halfway through eating it, you realize that, oh shit, this is going against my goals and this isn't who I want to be and I don't want to be doing this. And what happens? You start getting negative thoughts. So really, that could be anything, right? For me, it's diet, but any habit you're trying to get into, like lifting weights or meditating, or you're trying to break a habit, whatever it is, you need to be mindful and able to identify thoughts so that they don't control you. So that's how meditation helps with decision making. The third thing, which we've touched on a heap already, is emotional and thought regulation. So I have quite a short fuse, but I've found that since I've started consistently meditating, the period of time between annoying thing happening and reaction has increased. So in the past, something annoying would happen and I just react to it straight away, straight on it. There's no time to process or think. That never ends well, whether that results in getting in a fight with my sister or, being a smart ass to a teacher at school, which gets me in trouble. It's rarely a good outcome. Window of time where the annoying thing happens, and stop and go, is this worth getting pissed off over? That's the emotional control side of things. And that's just really helped me to keep my reactions to things in check. And it's meant that small things don't really upset me anymore, because you choose to be upset by small things. You don't realize, because the gap between stimulus and response is non-existent. You choose to get pissed off about something. Something small happens, you get that thought of being pissed off, and you identify with it. You attach to it. You become emotionally invested in it. And that warrants a reaction. But if you can notice that the thing happens, you notice the thought of, okay, something annoying happened, get annoyed, and you're observing it, you're like, that's a negative thought, and you just let it pass. Sure, you might feel a bit annoyed, but you're not gonna identify with that thought. And you're gonna be able to choose a response that is a lot more beneficial. The fourth thing is improved focus. Now, this is a bit of a no-brainer, right? Because, focus is an ability to direct attention into a task, whether that's a conversation with somebody, or watching a podcast, or reading a book, or studying, or working, or whatever it is. So when you're constantly giving attention to thoughts that arise in your brain, you could be sitting there reading a book. I don't know if you read, you should. Reading's great. If I'm sitting there reading, and I'm focused on what I'm reading, and then I get a thought, and I haven't been meditating, it's just bang. Obviously, you don't look up from your book into the air and look at a thought, but that's just the way I explain it, right? Thought pops up and you kind of latch onto it, and you get lost in thought and you start overthinking. It draws your attention away from what you're doing and onto your thought. Meditation, again, this is I keep repeating myself because it's so kind of important to understand. You're reading, you get that thought, but you notice that it's a thought. You choose not to kind of go down that rabbit hole, and you let it pass. And by the way, it doesn't mean you never get distracted. It just means that your ability to stay focused is increased. The fifth thing, and one of my favorite things I've noticed, one of the most beneficial things in my life, has been presence and confidence. So presence is an easy one. We've talked about it this whole video. If I'm having a conversation with somebody and I'm not with them, I'm stuck in my own head, then that sucks, right? For them, for me, it's just not a good place to be. But that's most people. Most people are brain dead. They're thinking about some fucking TikTok video they saw, or whatever. Whatever. You'll notice, you're having a conversation with most people and it feels like they're AFK. It feels like they're zoned out. Even if they're not obviously most people still kind of look in your general direction and nod and give you one-word answers, right? But you can tell when somebody's engaged in a conversation and present and when somebody's not. And meditation helps you to become one of those people who is with people, right? So presence in the moment, during a task you're doing, or with a person, a friend, family member, whatever. Super important. But the last part I said was confidence. It's really interesting. When you're in a social setting, when I'm in a social setting, I tend to think way too much and kind of overthink about if that person there is looking at me funny, or they don't like me, or this group thinks I'm annoying, or if I'm talking too much, or if I'm not talking enough, or if I'm saying the right things, a million thoughts. But since I've really got consistent in meditating, those thoughts don't go away, but I just don't latch onto them. I don't give them any grip in my brain. I don't give them any control. I notice them and I'm like, that's a negative thought, that's not going to help me, and I choose not to identify with it. that means I'm so much better with people and I'm so much more confident because I'm not allowing myself, A, to be distracted, but B, to think negatively about myself or the situation I'm in. Massive confidence boost. Like, my confidence, both in myself and just in social situations, has just skyrocketed. So those are the main benefits I've noticed. Now I want to move on to how you actually meditate. First, if you want to start meditating, go to the App Store on your phone and download an app called Medito. I'll put a picture up on the screen, but it's the best meditation app I've found. It's not like cringy, it's not like, it's good, it's great. It's the one I use, it's awesome. And there's a course, like a free course you can take, which just teaches you like everything, A to Z, how to meditate. And then you also have like a daily meditation, which you just click on and you set whether you want 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. So that's how I get started, but I'll explain the actual concept of meditation. The point is, there's kind of 4 phases. First phase is you're present in the moment and you're focusing on something. So the most common way to do it is just to focus on your breath. So you're breathing, you're focusing on your breath, and you get distracted. That's phase 2, getting distracted. Phase 3 is noticing that you're distracted, and then phase 4 is returning to the present moment again. So that cycle of you're there, you're focusing on your breath, you then get distracted, you then realize you're distracted, and then you bring your focus back. You go through that once, that's like 1 bicep curl for your brain. You go through that twice, 2 bicep curls. You will probably go through that cycle 20 to 30 times in like a 5-minute meditation when you first start, right? And what so many people get wrong when they start meditating is they're like, I couldn't clear my head of thoughts, and it doesn't work for me. I'm just gonna give up and not do it anymore. Of course you can't clear your brain of thoughts. Like, the monks who like sit on mountains and say Om and shit? They're the only people on earth who can truly clear their brain of thoughts. That's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to notice the thoughts, not attach to them, and then refocus. That's like going to the gym and thinking you can put 100 kilos on the bar and just bench it straight away, first day. And then when you can't, you're going like, oh shit, well, I guess I'll just never work out again. This sucks. I can't bench 100 kilos straight away. I'm gonna give up and just go home and never work out or train ever again. It's just dumb. So those are the main benefits I've noticed over the past 30 days of meditating, and yeah, that's how you can get started. Just remember, I've been meditating for a year in order to get to the point where I can do it consistently for 30 days, if that makes sense. So basically, for like the whole past year, I've been going like, I got 3 days consistently, and then I missed a day, and then I got 4 days, and then I missed a day, and then I got 1 day, and then I missed a day, and then I got 5 days and missed a day, 2 days, missed a day. So the consistency will come over time. Like, I've just kind of crossed the threshold where like consistency happens, but you got to be patient with that. Once you get to that point where you're doing it consistently, like, I'm pretty confident I've now passed the point where I could meditate every day for the rest of the year and not miss a day and not be like a challenge, because I've trained that consistency muscle in the habit of meditation enough. Be patient with it. Just try to be as consistent as you can. Go download the app and get started. Thanks for watching. Cheers.